Another Trump supporter has unfortunately, tragically found out the hard way that no matter how much you support Donald Trump, he does not give a damn about you or your struggles, many of which might be directly his fault. We're talking here about Kasper Eriksen, a Mississippi father of 4 who has been taken away from his family and sent to a detention center in Louisiana after apparently missing one piece of paper years and years ago in his path to citizenship. Here is a photo of him with his beautiful family. He's got a bunch of young kids. And on paper, they say he is a model conservative model member of MAGA. He worked as a welding foreman, lived on a family farm, has no criminal record, and judging by his social media activity, was shoulder to shoulder with all things MAGA. But none of that mattered to ICE, obviously, because back in 2015, he failed to complete Form I-751, petition to remove conditions on residence, just one of the countless steps on his legal path to getting full US citizenship. So he actually came from Denmark to the US way back in 2009 and began, doing the process that many people have done to become a citizen. He was involved in that just 5 or 6 years later. He met his wife Savannah, had 4 children, paid taxes, built a career, attended every immigration appointment required. His wife suffered a stillbirth in 2015, and in the wake of that horrible and unthinkable situation, he missed that deadline for that single form. Again, 10 years ago. This was, to put it in perspective, I don't even know if Trump had come down the escalator yet. This is such ancient history, but none of that matters because he went to his final meeting with immigration officials on April 15th, and ICE did what they've been doing now. They use you being responsible and going to these meetings to ambush you. And once you show up, they know where you are, so they snatch you and they just take you away. He didn't even get to say goodbye to his wife or his family. He was just disappeared, as so many people are. And so here is a statement that eventually came out again. He was taken weeks ago at this, I think like 5 weeks ago at this point. The case manager in Memphis and the US Marshal had a real sense of remorse because they realized it was an unfortunate circumstance. He said his hands were currently tied. He told us that had it been a couple of months earlier during the previous administration, the situation would have probably been different. With the new administration, things have changed a lot. So they had to treat me like they were going to. And so we don't know for sure what's gonna end up happening to this guy. Again, he's MAGA, so maybe Fox News champions this. Maybe Tucker Carlson calls Trump. Stephen Miller's like, well, he looks super white, we'll give him a pass, but maybe not. He may be just gone. And if you read into this, there's statements from his wife about the evolving lies she's had to tell her kids about why their dad has disappeared for weeks. None like this, again, if this doesn't get through to MAGA people, and I know that they don't care about the hairdresser, they don't care about the empanada salesperson, they don't care about the science teacher, they don't care about Garcia or whatever. These, again, total innocence and all of that. This dude is exactly you, and he may never be able to return to his family again. It's utterly absurd, and I wish that it hadn't been this way. What do you think, Brett?
I'm probably the most conservative person because I just don't think this guy looks enough like me because he's too blonde for me to really be able to empathize with his plight. So unless they find a vaguely John Krasinski looking, person, like an Argentinian Jew or something like that, something like that to deport.
They have to deport Chris Evans.
I can't.
Basically.
Chris Evans, yeah, no, but he's got the round top of his head. I'm talking about a very vertical faced, balding, hat wearing guy whose hands are big, but forearms are really thin. That's what, until they do that, I'm just not gonna be able to wrap my mind around the fact that people don't have to look like me in order for me to understand that they're real people. That's, I guess, the problem. He's got kids. I don't have kids. His family wears vertical stripes on their dresses. I don't have either of those things in my wardrobe. We have different trees. We have different kinds of grass in the photos we take. I just can't wrap my mind around us also being humans at the same time in the same country. I'm sorry, John. This one isn't gonna land on me and my fellow MAGA people.
It needs to be exactly you in the image. I was gonna say, what about maybe like Trump starts to get mad at Ryan Reynolds, like, oh, if you love Wrexham so much, why don't you live over there? Like maybe that'll do it.
No, JR would think that applies to me because he thinks I look like Ryan Reynolds, but I don't think I look like Ryan Reynolds. So that's not gonna work on me. Like, I don't think you're understanding how I
Evidently
work. And
not.
how could you? We are two different people. How could there be, God, I wish there was a word that meant like you could put yourself in others' place and feel what they feel.
Maybe Germany's got a lot of those really like esoteric words. I don't think we have one.
But anyway, guy's not even German. And my last name's German. His last name is some kind of Viking crap.
Yeah, how could you possibly have empathy? But anyway, let's talk about this guy because, like, again, I haven't seen long interviews with him or whatever. I think honestly, like, make a 1-episode Hulu documentary about this guy's experience because it is just fascinating. But when he says, if it had been, I knew he was told that, but like, if it had been the prior administration, I'd be with my family right now. I'd be with my kids who are what? Like, he's got like a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old or something like that. If it was Joe Biden, who presumably this guy despised, he'd be with his family. But instead, he got the guy that he loves more than anything other than his family in the world. And because of that, he doesn't get to be with his family. Maybe his family's gonna have to go to the Netherlands or whatever. We don't know. And I feel terrible for him.
He's got 4 kids. I've only had sex 3 times. How could he ever be someone I identify with and understand?
Yeah.
I love it, but like that's the thing. And the answer is that Trump's system is dumber than Biden's. And by that I mean, like, a smart system looks at it and goes like, oh, you missed a form and you were at a hearing. You're obviously responsible for that. There's a sentencing triads. Those are systems that say like, put it in the judge's hands to be like, all right, let's make an exception in this case because we're not just blindly gonna do this crap.
Yeah,
Trump has made changes that he obviously didn't want this to happen. He obviously didn't want a white Danish man to be deported.
Yeah.
But it happened because people are following his rules and they still don't realize that his rules are flawed.
Yeah, I would love to hear some, like, I don't know, Jesse Waters, Stephen Miller, whatever, like explain how America is better off with his kids not having a dad, with us having one less talented welder, with America having one less contributing taxpayer, one more family man. Why are we all better off because this guy's in a detention facility rather than with his family? I don't understand it.
The fact that it's a welder, someone who joins things together.
I know, the metaphor is strong.